Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER, everything sci-fi, fantasy, and pop culture commentary. I'm Seven, we have Drew, and we have Corey. How you guys doing?
Doing all right. Think some of us a little tired, but we're still in it. We're still alive.
We're still in it, and we're still live. So let's start out with Barbarian.
Yeah, we can get all this done first. Hey, hold that thought, Corey, because I do want you to. It's an older film. It's like came out 2022, so it's it came out a few years ago. I just got around to seeing it last night. This is I'm not sure what number film it is for Zach Krieger, the director, but it's one of the one that he did before Weapons, which is a movie that I love. And going back and seeing this one retroactively, I think I can say this is the one that solidified it for me as I just think of him as like a good / great director. I like the style. I like his method of storytelling. It's not perfect, but even when it's not perfect, I think he does it in such a way as to where you're ultimately, as the viewer, satisfied with what you get with his films. In way of pacing, storytelling, suspense, thrills, violence. He gives you a good little chunk of each thing for each one that with these films that he makes. So I'm a fan at this point.
So it's his third film.
Okay, so if it's third, yeah. What was the one that he did before that? I thought there was more. What was that before?
Miss March and the Civil War on Drugs.
Okay, I'll have to check those out then. I'm looking in reverse then. Right. So Corey, you kind of gave a groan when we mentioned Barbarian. So what was your take on that?
All right, so we talked about The Blackening, right? The Blackening started out as a fan-made movie on YouTube, right? That they somehow extrapolated into an entire movie. There was a scene, the big jump scare scene of Barbarian that was built around it. That was I want to say another fan-made film, and then they made a movie into it. And so it's just like these studios are taking fan ideas and just stretching them out into a movie. I'm not going to say Barbarian was horrible. It could have been better, but it wasn't original.
And this is streaming now on Hulu, correct? For those that want to see it?
I'm hesitant to say where. I'm not sure if it is. Or I halfway agree and disagree. You're not wrong in that they take. What was it? It wasn't Mama. Remember that one?
Mother? Oh, no. Yeah, Mother. Was it Mother?
No, it was called Mama. It was called Mama.
Oh, with Octavia Butler.
And Jessica Chastain in it, I think. This version that we got.
I think so.
It had Thrones, and it had Jessica Chastain, because I know my Jessica Chastain stuff. But when it came to that film, that was a short film. I want to say it was Spanish. I could be wrong, but it was like a Spanish short film. Guillermo del Toro, he either produced it or he directed it. I'm kind of second guessing myself now. But just the same, that was a short horror film. The one scene with the little girls getting chased by the thing up and down the stairs, that was it. And then they made an entire film out of that, which I liked. I liked Mama. I thought it was actually a pretty good movie at the end of the day. Way of horror, and we have just its pacing as a film. So you're not wrong. Hollywood does do this, but I prefer that they do something like that as opposed to just dipping into whatever was popular. What sitcom was popular back in the 80s? Since we're so bereft of ideas, since we're just so absentee of ideas, let's just recreate some crap that was popular back in this decade. So by comparison, let's go with that as opposed to the former. With this one, with Barbarian, I would say that I think the scene that you may be referring to is when you first meet the mother in that one, because there's a couple characters, but when dude meets mother in the underside catacomb, the parts of the house that were connected that just went on for would look like miles. All right, if that was the idea, that was the core premise, I'd say that he turned it into gold, bro. Because he took what was one concept, a creepy moment, and managed to stretch that out for about an hour and 40 something minutes. And with his style, to his methods of filmmaking, I like this thing that he does where he bookends and chapters each part. We talked about this before, where you have a character. With what he did it with weapons, he did it with this one, and it's like a segment that leaves you off on a cliffhanger or with more questions. There's a moment of fear, there's a moment of horror. You get some character development, you introduce them, you put them through the motions, and then you jump off to someplace else. It went from Tess and Bill Skarsgård character to Justin Long's character and his whole setup as AJ, gets him to the house, and then from there it goes back in time to, I think it was the 80s, 70s, 80s in Detroit, when the neighborhood that it takes place in was normal. Right. And then you have that whole backstory sequence. Each sequence gives you a little bit more of the puzzle. Each sequence gives you a little more lore. And they do escalate when it comes to the threat of danger and the suspense and dread and all that good stuff. It's a solid way of like making a film, I think. You string people along and then you give them nuggets and then you just give them the scare.
Right.
To be fair, I think I haven't seen the two movies before because where did it go? His first movie, Miss March, that came out 2009. Orange Drugs, that came out 2011. Barbarian came out 2022. And I'm going off of a limb and saying Barbarian was probably his test pilot run on his style of film. Compared to
you mean his style
Weapons,
of filmmaking in general?
For this, the horror genre. I'm not sure of the two. I don't think they're horror from what I'm seeing. But regardless, compared to Weapons and Companion, I think those are a more well-polished idea if you compare it against Barbarian. And that's the problem that I had with Barbarian. It felt a little incomplete. It felt like the idea was there, the potential was there. It just didn't execute it enough for me. And like you're saying, you built an entire movie off of this one scene. And it could have been I wanted more of the horror element, more less than the backstory of these people got into the situation and what's going on with the mother. I can appreciate it, but I still think it could have been better. I've seen better examples of it.
I could definitely agree with you in that it could have been more polished. I like that you don't get all the answers, but he leaves you almost a little hungry for more of an explanation ultimately. If my biggest gripe with the film was, if I have a biggest gripe with the film, it's that you do get the overview of what the mother is. And when the homeless guy, the one brother, the one black dude that saves Tess, he explains you don't want to go in there. There's worse things than her inside there. And you're like, as the viewer, you're like, wait, what? And then Justin Long's character, AJ, finds the father, the guy that was living in the house prior to all of it. And he's in that back room. You get no explanation for how he was able to live there all those years. You get no explanation on why the mother didn't really just outright kill him. They kind of roughly go over the idea that he had a wife. The wife was pregnant. For whatever horrific reason, he kept her in that pit, that room. And then as they explained it, he just kept having kids with the kids, and so on and so forth for 40 years. One, that's absolutely disgusting. But two, how does he do that? You get no explanation for this. Why was the mother freakishly strong? Why would she be...
Now I remember. I did see this film a while ago.
I think you did. You mentioned it a ways back, Seven. I hadn't watched it yet. You asked me if I'd watched it, and I said no, not yet.
You are left with a bunch of questions, and when you try to answer those questions for yourself, that whole aspect of disbelief just starts breaking down.
It starts to chew at your suspension of disbelief, and it's like, why was she freakishly strong? Why did she have a healing factor? What did he do down there that made her that way? And besides, like, the Hills Have Eyes incest angle, why is she the way that she is? You get no explanation for that. Right. And by the time that it's done, the characters who survive. The ending happens, and then just like you're out of there. It's done.
To be perfectly honest, I didn't want to answer for it because if you think about movies like Us and what was the movie about the catacombs under Paris where there were like people living under Paris, like the deeper you go, the worse they got. Like that idea is true. We know
Above,
there are
so
people
below.
living. Hmm?
That was as above, so below.
Yeah, that one. And so it's like they took that idea that if you wanted to make it more scary or science fiction, take the belief of the realism that people are actually there and make them monsters. You have Barbarian. And I guess I would appreciate us and as so above so below a little bit better than Barbarian because it's just suspending belief.
Polished. I would definitely say that Us is more polished, as above, so below. Even if they kind of just easily give you the concept of as above, so below, it's hell. It's the Dante's Inferno take of hell. Whatever sins that you walk in there with, those catacombs in Paris, if you go down there, your worst fear, your worst sin is made manifest. And then there's the other stuff that people have added over the years.
It's
The
Barbarian.
That's Barbarian doesn't even give you that much, and I still like it because it's almost has like this SCP. It has like an SCP where you don't get all the answers. It's just creepy things exist. How did he forge that entire tunnel series just by himself with a pregnant woman there? You don't get the answers. So it's fun, but you're right. It could be more polished. And I think with Weapons, he does a better job of that while still leaving in unanswered questions because we don't know what the hell Gladys was.
Well, one good
Was she
thing
a
with
witch? Was
Weapons
she
is
demon?
that
Was she
you went
what?
for the ride and you wanted to keep seeing what happens next. I think that like good filmmaking, even if you don't like the story at some point or how the story is told, it's still a win if you didn't want to unplug. It's still a win if you got all the way to the end. And I think
That's why I
Weapons does
said
a good job with that.
This thing is fun. Yeah.
that's why I said I
agree.
appreciate him and his style. You can definitely tell this was his test pilot. He's gotten better, and I would be interested to see where he goes from here. After Weapons and Companion, I'm just saying this was clearly a rocky start.
Well, let's change
It's a little,
gears
it
real
gets a little
quick on
sketchy.
this one.
Exactly.
So we have Jonas Roberts, right? Now he brought us Resident Evil Welcome, 47 Meters Down, VHS 99. He gave some suspense and some interesting depth, I guess to say, within the cinematic world, right? But then, Drew, you saw Primate and said this was a not
I'm
a
out
good
of 10.
mixture. Right. So what happened here? What happened with Primate that went wrong?
They took what was on paper a pretty simple concept. You have Cujo with a chimpanzee. It's Cujo with a chimpanzee. And yet they fail in every single way to make everything that we liked about Cujo applicable in this one. The characters aren't like with Cujo. It was very, very simple that Cujo got bit by a bat. He gets rabies. He was a sweet dog, but he was a giant, a big old what was it? What type of dog is Cujo? Oh, not a mastiff, but he was damn near close to it. He gets rabies, so it's like the sweetest, biggest dog on the face of the planet becomes rabid.
Was he
And
a
this
King
one,
Corso?
something like that. I'm bad with dog names, but yeah, he was just a big sweet dog that got bit by a bat, and all that that inverse of now he's an insane dribbling murder machine, right?
He's a Saint Bernard.
Saint Bernard. Okay, there we go. That sounds right. Saint Bernard. And Primate, it's Ben, and they have just the dumbest setup. The dumbest setup with this thing. The family lives with the primate. The primate, I guess, was the mother's at first. The mom dies of cancer. That has no effect on anything in the film at all. It's not even important. They just mention it's like a throwaway line almost. She died of cancer a year ago. I'm like, okay, is that going to be relevant to the plot? No. Right. Ben lives with them for reasons. He gets bit off screen by a mongoose. And then the dad, they have this whole thing where the dad, he's like mute. It has nothing really, again, nothing to do with the film. It's just a feature. It's fine, but it's just a pointless feature. And you have the dad who signs to the primate, to Ben. He signs to the family. I guess he'll take the mongoose to the vet. But I'm like, dude, your chimpanzee's bit. You need to take that thing immediately to the veterinarian. He doesn't, and goes off on a business trip because he's a writer and he's doing signings and stuff.
That's what you do.
So the setup it happens within 20 minutes. There's no build up. You don't really have. They try to like ingratiate you with the family. It doesn't work. Whether it be through lack of acting skill of the characters, or just the fact that they were boring or just unlikable. I don't care about the older sister. I don't care about the younger sister. I don't care about the dad. The league of douchebags that they have over their house, they're like as good as meat. They're not. There's Nick, who's the one guy among them. He's an idiot. The two other guys, Drew, and I hate that I share a name with them. Drew and the other dude, Brad. There's two guys that one of them, Aaron, met at the airport that she thought, oh, they're cute. I might want to bang them later. Let me get the digits. They're just meat. Gotcha. It's like a bad slasher film cast. You don't care about anybody. You don't care about Ben. There's no reason for you to really like be involved or like the plot or any emotion that's involved. And then things just start popping off. It's fun to watch them get yapped, but it's like it's cheap. Like Ben, at one point, the most hilarious kill. Ben's afraid of water because he has rabies, right? Nick, his bright idea is we'll push him. Their house is like basically the Stark house. There's this pool that's right on the edge of 100-foot some odd drop that they're like, we'll push Ben over the edge. We'll lure him in the pool, and then we'll just push him over the side. Nick goes to push him over the side, and Ben just like, forgetting that there's a primate, Ben just Hassan flips Nick over the edge. He climbs back up, bro, and he just laughs at them. The chimpanzee just laughs at him like, y'all are so stupid. It's moments like that happen back to back. You would think that would make the movie, if nothing else, enjoyable. It doesn't. It's just one stupid move after another. They completely play with this concept that they're able to like fight and wrestle with this chimpanzee. Y'all, no. Chimpanzees are vastly stronger than a person. They show him ripping your face off at the beginning of the movie. Chimps can do stuff like that, and have. So this angle that they're trying to play where the girls are, there's a struggle. I'm like, no. This is a no-go. So you don't even know the mechanics of the horror.
It's like they took that meme, 100 men versus one gorilla, and made it into a movie.
They tried and failed miserably. As dumb as that is, like I still think the whole 100 person to a gorilla, the humans are not going to want to throw themselves into that match. Who wants to be one of the first 12 that gets your ass beat by a full-on gorilla? Step forward.
Hulk smash.
Well, let's go to a win. So let's go to One Piece.
Oh, we're cycling through it pretty quick, but yeah, ultimately, Primate, dumb out of 10, would not recommend. It was stupid. One Piece, on the other hand, we're in season 2 of the live-action series, based off the super popular anime that is, I would say, probably more popular than even Dragon Ball at this point.
Hold on, it's a series? I thought it was a movie.
No, it's a live-action series.
I need to get on this now. I thought it was a live-action movie.
I haven't watched it. Get on board.
Get on board, man.
No. It's like all of the unlikely adaptations you could make of an anime. This could dovetail into another conversation. But when it comes to of picking anime properties and making them into live-action stuff, oddly enough, One Piece has become like a good one. I would have said years ago that's impossible. You can't make One Piece as surreal and as outright crazy as One Piece is. You can't make a live action of that. And Netflix was like, yeah, we can. Check this out. And they did well. First season was good. Second season is even better. And I'm on board. I'm with it. And what I like in particular about it is, if you're a One Piece watcher, there's a lot of comedy. There's a lot of zaniness. There's a lot of fun games and antics that are involved in the show. The live action version has that, but they cut out a lot of the chaff. Whenever the form of One Piece is, whenever they get to a new island, there's the fun games angle, they feast, they have comedic moments, and then it's the major stuff, serious, plot-driven, fight-oriented stuff. They cut through that. One angle that I'll give the live action over the anime even is its pacing, because the humor's there, but they don't lose sight of the plot, they don't lose sight of the action, and it's like it's a well-oiled machine with its pacing, bro. So I highly recommend it. It's super fun.
So, honestly, I'm not surprised, because we know that Netflix has been trying this live action adaptation of a whole bunch of other animes into movies. Has there been another live action animated series Netflix tried to accomplish?
I want to say Alice in the Borderlands, but that's not. It doesn't have an anime. It's a manga, so it doesn't count.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
that doesn't count.
Metal Alchemist, that's not under Netflix. Even though you could see it there, but that's not their production, is it?
It's not under. That's not their production, and that was based off of an anime, but it sucked. People hated that version. Same thing with Attack on Titan, which you would think that would be a ballpark hit.
Right.
They messed that one up.
Yeah, that was terrible. What was it? Tokyo Ghoul. That was atrocious. Bleach.
I didn't bother
Definitely.
Tokyo Ghoul. Bleach. I didn't bother Bleach either. It's hard. It's difficult to do. So when you after that list that we just enumerated,
Right.
you would think, okay, we're gonna do a live action of One Piece. As outright surreal and crazy off the rails as that show gets, I'm like, they're gonna crap the bed with this one when they first announced it. And then that first season came out, and I'm like, this is actually really good.
Right.
That's why I thought it was a movie. I'm like, it's a series? I thought it was a movie.
Series,
I thought they were trying another movie.
It's a series. They're gonna have to, if they're doing the whole series, they're gonna have to speed up the production. They have to start filming these things back to back because we waited a couple years, I want to say, between season 1 and 2 of One Piece. And if they're gonna get to Albath, bro, we gotta get the train moving. We gotta get going because it's good. Don't lose that momentum.
That's a good transition. What you're saying, like, we got to move up production. Ben Affleck sold, I think he sold his AI company to Netflix to just do just that. Get involved with all the pre-production, allegedly just the post-production. Because, this big fear of AI, he's saying, oh, well, this is something that could help production, definitely in post-production, make everything less expensive. If you have to do any reshoots, it remembers everything in AI. Of course, will it just be used that way? Who knows? But allegedly, this is supposed to help move things forward and faster. Do you think that will actually happen? Or will this be just another way to get rid of jobs and Ben Affleck sold us out, even though he was one of those voices?
Both can be true at the same time.
You said both could be true at the same time.
Oh, it could be implemented for both. It could be a quick cleanup tool. It could make production easier. But we know these companies, y'all. We need to stop acting like they're the altruistic people. They're going to sit up there and eradicate as many jobs as they can to save money, because the bottom line is, how much did we make at the end of the day? If that means cutting out X jobs to Y jobs, they're going to do it. If AI makes that job capable or possible, they're going to do it. So prepare for that already. It's already happening.
Should we feel safer because this is Ben Affleck's company? He's a writer. He's a director. He knows what it is to go from nothing to becoming a huge star. Do you think that he is looking out for other creatives, or he just looked out for his own pocket, found a win?
Maybe not. We don't know what type of check they cut him for it. He sold it, right?
Yeah.
He could be like, oh, I can take this check and just run with it, and I'll do what you're going to do with it. As a auteur, as a person of the community, as of the craft.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's always this juggling act of mitigating what is good for the art and what is good for your pocketbook, and people can't be bought. This happens all the time. So
I feel like.
We'll see.
I feel like there are other things at play too. If we're looking at it from the business standpoint and consumers, I think Netflix has finally heard that people hate waiting a year, 2 year, 3 years for the other season. And with the implementation of AI, and let's say nothing changes, and this is where we're at right now, people are filming concurrently season after season after season. We saw this with Wicked. They filmed concurrently. They made 2 films that would normally take 2-3 years. We got it immediately a year apart, and it was pretty much done. With Bridgerton on Netflix, we waited maybe a month for a whole entire season. Now let's see how long it takes for the next season, if they're still filming. I believe they are right now. I guess we'll see right now with One Piece, how long will it take from season 1 to season 2? Because we know that the big shows that people are watching, that as a company, Netflix, I just want people to continue watching it. And I don't want to hear the complaints, and I want to appease the complaints of my consumers. and get them the shows that they want. So if this speeds up the production so that people can enjoy the show, you get more people subscribing to your streaming platform. It's a win for Netflix. So let's see if they do the right thing.
So I looked it up real quick. He's
that
looking at 600 million for it.
You give him 600 million for that. I mean, it was a win-win for him. The company gets what they want. He gets what he wants. Like what Corey just said, if they use that to kind of just cut that production time up a little bit, good. Like I've said before, AI itself isn't bad. It's just a tool, right? The tool itself isn't evil. It's what you use that tool for. So if the tool is then made to go into these concurrent seasons, and for that, it depends on like the production, I think too, like the scale of it. If it's a lot of stuff, a lot of sets, you got a big cast list, you're going to need those tools for it. It just makes it easier. So definitely use it. But when it comes to the it's also going to get used to cut off jobs. That's just, I think, the nature of the beast. It's going to happen.
Right.
But we do get something out of it at the end of the day. So we'll have to just see how they mitigate that, whatever middle point we find on that.
It's terrible that people are going to lose their jobs, but actors are going to have constant work now. So it's a give and take.
Yeah.
Possible. We shall see. We shall see. Because the other, maybe not this particular program, because he's saying this is more having to do with production. So to your point, Drew, we're looking at gaffers, people that do lighting, that aspect of crew. Yeah, people are going to definitely lose jobs. He said that this has nothing to do with AI taking over physical day players, like the extras and the actors. But that doesn't mean they won't implement other AI tools if they choose to. So we shall see. And you're right, Drew. Like, it's how they decide to use it. Are they going to use it to?
Yeah, it depends on the project.
Yeah. Depends on the.
This could also say a good use of AI. Good. Sorry.
I was going to say this could also save lives and injuries on the production set when you have like these real hard, impossible shots and people are probably falling or having mishaps. This could be a good thing at the end of the day, depending on how you look at it.
I would say particularly, I would use AI if you needed many extras, because again, One Piece is a huge world. And every time they go to, I would say one of my few complaints with this season, and the last one is, it seems too sparse.
Oh, really?
Right? They have the actors, they have the extras, but it's like you can tell it's just a room full of people and extras, and lots of them look kind of like they're almost like cosplaying or like at a Ren fair or something. Wow. So if you wanted to like populate that, make it look a little more lived in, have more people, you could use AI and stuff like that to just kind of have a bunch more people like in the backgrounds rather than just CG puppets. You have just AI replicating different types of people based on the show. So it could work. Cut down extras, you cut down production costs, cut down risk of people getting injured. It can be used for some good stuff.
Well, that's the time that we have today. And if anyone noticed a little different background today, we're here live at Gotham City Outpost. We have a new GEEKCASTER studio within Gotham City Outpost. You could always go to GothamCityOutpost.com or Instagram and Facebook. And of course, anyone watching us on cable, thank you so much. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you very much. And of course, you could always go to GeekCaster.com. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Drew. And next time, we'll talk about more sci-fi, fantasy, and pop culture commentary.
Wave.